Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
Welcome to the Awakening Women Show. I'm your host, Leanne Oten, a former counselor with a background in counseling psychology. I'm a mentor for high-achieving, ambitious women with over 13 years in the mental health and empowerment space. I've guided hundreds of women and have influenced over 100,000 through my platforms, podcast, and other courses, programs, and mentorship. I'm also the creator of the Relationship Clarity program, formerly known as End the Cycle, which you will hear me mention a lot of times as we go through the episodes. This program is to help women break free from destructive relationship cycles and come to clarity and power about their next step. This show is for the woman who knows her relationship struggles go deeper than the usual conflict. You know there's something more going on, but you can't quite nail it down or pinpoint what that is. You'll find clarity here, empowerment, truth, and validation. Clarity on whether your relationship can be healed or whether it's time to reclaim your life and move forward. What started as me sharing my own experiences quickly became a movement because the truth is, so many ambitious, successful women are stuck in confusing and draining relationship dynamics while trying to rise in every other area of their life, career, motherhood. This is you, you're not alone, and you don't have to keep living this way. Inside this podcast, you'll hear some of my most downloaded episodes, plus fresh content designed to help you break patterns, reclaim your wholeness, and decide once and for all if this relationship is where you belong. I'm so glad you found this space. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Awakening Women podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Oten. In this episode, I'm sharing with you different faces of the fake, quote unquote, good guy. The guy that says, I'm a good guy, you're the problem. The guy that puts on a show and has many faces that he shows depending on what is happening, depending on the audience, depending on who is around. And this is really important because when you often read information about abuse, it can be hard to pinpoint what's really happening, but all you know is that you are very confused and you do a lot of rumination and replaying of things and trying to make sense of things that have happened. This is not normal in a safe relationship, an emotionally safe relationship. And so I want to share with you the 8 main faces, the 8 main characteristics and patterns you will find with these fake, quote unquote, nice guys. When we're talking about a good man, there are certain traits that you look for that are just present. They're not there as in performing or at certain times, but not others. You will find that those characteristics are there almost all of the time. Nobody's perfect, but the core of who he is, it is there. I have a checklist, a downloadable that shows you the difference. And it's a list of the core characteristics of a good, safe man. I have that downloadable available to you for free. Just head to the link in the show notes and there will be a sign up link for you to grab that. But what I want to share with you is something that I've created that is the 6 faces of the fake nice guy. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I have done this work in the trenches with women for close to 7 years now. And I've seen it all. I've seen the patterns and I have seen the similarities and the things that tend to happen every single time a woman is with one of these fake nice guys. This is the unaccountable man. And I want you to be clear on this because the first step in changing anything is awareness always. So when we are looking at this, we are looking at someone who is not characteristically someone you would say that blows up. They're maybe not chaotic in the sense where they're yelling and screaming and throwing things and getting drunk and high on drugs and creating, violence in the home and that very obvious way that someone could point to and said, you hit her, you threw this, you broke that, you hurt your kid. Some of them are. I've worked with many women who were in those type of volatile situations or who had experienced some forms where things have gotten physical. So remember that when you're dealing with the emotional and the psychological, you're at risk for the physical as things escalate. I've had clients who never had anything like that happen. And then when they start doing the work to really stand up for themselves or trying to leave the relationship, well, you see a whole other side. So I always say, be very careful. You have to know the type that you're with. And so let's dive in. So the 6 faces, the first one is the detonator. This is the number one characteristic I would say happens across the board in every single relationship with one of these types. Now we can call them narcissistic, sure, but we don't want to go into labeling and diagnosis. So that's why I want to come at it from, let's hone in on the actual pattern. It doesn't matter what's causing it. It matters that it is harmful to your well-being and your health and your success and your kids' well-being and whether or not they're going to be in trauma therapy for the rest of their lives. Okay, so the detonator. What happens with this is that when you bring up a legitimate hurt, you will find that it explodes into something unrecognizable. It gets twisted and you don't even know what the hell happened. By the end, you can't remember what you even brought up in the first place, and you regret even bringing it up. You tell yourself I should have just kept it to myself. Or somehow it became your fault. So his explosion is the punishment you get for your honesty. So what that is doing is it's programming you to learn it's not safe to bring things up because this happens every time. They do this on purpose to avoid accountability. All of these 6 faces are the unaccountable man. Okay, it's not something you can change. It's not something you can fix. Don't even continue trying. It's an addiction. When you start trying to change and fix this type of person, you become addicted. There's an addiction underneath that. You're trying to get something met that you're not going to get met, and it will continue to drag you through hell when you try. So we have to work on the core root of it, which is the emotional addiction. So you cannot change these behaviors, okay? None of these faces, none of these patterns, you cannot change them. You can only change your side of it. Face number 2 is the truth twister. You'll bring something up and he'll say, well, that's not what happened. You misread it. You misheard it. You took it wrong. You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. You're crazy. Insert. So he doesn't necessarily deny your reality loudly or obviously in a very clear way. He just subtly replaces it with his own so that you begin to not trust yourself anymore. Because you continue to bring things up, and every time it blows up or he's twisting it around. He's twisting the truth to make you question what you heard, what you saw, what actually happened. Face number 3 is the shapeshifter. By the time this conversation ends, he will be the victim and you will be the villain. He takes your legitimate concern and flips the entire dynamic around, absorbing your accountability into his narrative while shedding his own ownership entirely. So you end up walking away apologizing for what he did to you while not getting any validation for his role in that. There's none of this, yeah, I can see my role in that, and you're both kind of seeing your side and what you need to do differently. So this is a really slippery slope when you are not fully aware and in your own reality. You're not owning your own reality. You're not owning what is true. Face number 4 is the stone wall. When you try to talk to him about the relationship, you raise a relationship grievance. All of these tend to be around raising grievances when you have a problem with him, because everything can kind of seem like it's fine until you raise a problem, right? So the stone wall will just not engage. They'll shut down, they'll go blank. And this is not the same as someone who shuts down as a way to self-protect, but they're still able to snap out of it rather quickly, and it's something they work on to change. This is different. He will not discuss it. He shuts down, goes silent, and can stay there for a whole day. And I've had clients say weeks. They live with someone who completely acts like they don't exist, and they refuse to even look at them or speak to them. So again, this is so subtle that what's he doing wrong? He's just minding his own business. He's having boundaries because of your behavior. Or he's just tired of your behavior, so he's decided he's not going to engage in your drama. They have a way to twist it. And so nothing on the outside is obvious. It's quiet. It's quiet in the house. Meanwhile, you are absorbing all of that tension. And if this is happening, and this is highly destructive behavior, and this is not that he's processing for a few moments in a conversation and then he comes back. This is not him realizing he needs to change his response to a grievance instead of attacking himself or being unsure, not knowing what to say or being afraid of saying the wrong thing. This is different because we can all kind of do that in a moment in a conversation. This is not the same thing. This is a form of emotional abuse to withhold to the degree that you feel invisible and unimportant and they won't even talk to you. This can happen with a family member as well. And it's a very painful thing to be treated like you don't exist. And this is not coming from a space of needing space to process, because a healthy person will say, I just need a minute. Or I just need to go take a walk, go do something else to work through this, or I just need a few minutes and then we can revisit it. That's what a mature person does. The silence is a form of control. You then are feeling abandoned, so your abandonment wounds are coming up, which again, you have to work on those, but this is just what's happening. You are left alone with your feelings, trying to chase a conversation that he decided you don't deserve because he's punishing you for shining a light on his bullshit. Face number 5. This one is amazing to me. How many women have said, oh my God, he does this. The happy whistler. He knows what he did. He knows that he hurt you. He knows you're upset. And he walks around the house like a cheerful little leprechaun, whistling. Unbothered, cheerful, completely fine. Some women have said that they hum. So you might think, what's wrong with that? Like you could try and say that to someone outside of you and they'd be like, hey, what's the big deal? My guy does that too. No, this is strategic. This is a way to act unbothered by your pain as if you don't exist. It's him showing how your pain is really irrelevant to him. So when you are not a match at his level and you are shifting your own role in the dynamic, he gets to confirm what he's drilled into your brain for however many years or decades, that you are the miserable, problematic one. It's you. He's happy. He's just trying to be happy. He doesn't want all the drama. He wants to just get over things and move on. He's in a good mood. What's your problem? You're always miserable. So the happy whistler likes to put on a show of cheerfulness when he knows you're hurting or you're upset. And then face number 6 is the sweet talker. When he's lost access to something he wants, like your warmth, your body, your labor in the home, your forgiveness, he will shower you with gifts and flowers and doing tasks that you've been asking him to do for a very long time. You will feel like that person that you fell in love with is back. And there can sometimes be a mix of sadness in this because you start to see the pattern and it almost brings sadness to you because you know it's not going to last. After a while, you start to see this and you start to see it as the addictive hook that drives you back into the patterns over and over. A healthy person tries to talk things out with you. There's nothing wrong with giving flowers, there's nothing wrong with affection and things like that. But if that is the only way that he tries to repair with you and tries to just sweep it under the rug otherwise, that is a way that he just sweeps everything under the rug and leaves it for you to sit with and for you to just stuff down within yourself. And you cannot do that because you will eventually get sick. In this phase, they do the things that you've been asking for, maybe for months, maybe for years. So he's able to just flip a switch and turn that charm back on. And just like that, everything that came before that gets buried under the feeling of finally being chosen by him again. Like, he sees me. Oh, maybe this time he's really sorry. And maybe this time he really feels bad and loves me. Until the next thing happens. And you are vacillating between these 6 faces of the fake nice guy. These fake nice guys do a number on your nervous system, on your health, on your focus, on your success, on your happiness. They don't make life easier. They make life harder. They bring more chaos. They don't show up. You have to guide them through every fucking thing that you need done. They don't have leadership skills when it comes to the relationship, so they're very passive with the relationship. So you feel literally like you are single when you're married. You feel like a married single mother because everything that you need done, you have to spell it out. But then you'll find when you bring up what you want, it starts a fight. And so these guys are not necessarily overtly obvious, but they do so much damage because it's so insidious and it's really difficult to pinpoint something you can't directly see. And then I work with women who spend a lot of time trying to get them to see what they're doing. But a man that doesn't care, he doesn't care what his actions do to you. He's showing you through his actions. He's showing you through his behavior how little he values you and your feelings when he is behaving in these ways. These men don't change. They do not change. They might shapeshift their behavior for a bit, or they might stop one behavior and start up another or get worse in another. They don't change. So, knowing this, if this is what you are experiencing, you have to change you. You are only in control of what you think, feel, and do. Who you are. That is it. You cannot force him to wake up. You can't force him to want to evolve and grow with you. Either he wants to or he doesn't. And how will you know? Because you will be able to have peaceful resolutions to conflict and friction and times when you're disagreeing, or when you say, that really hurt my feelings. What does he do? That's the litmus test. I swear that is the one litmus test for everything. It's all you need to know about a man, whether you're dating or you've been with someone for a long time. Bring something up that's a criticism. Don't even worry about saying it sweetly. Just say it. How does he respond? Does it blow up? Does it go sideways? Does it get twisted? Which of these 6 faces come out when you bring up a grievance, something you want, something you don't like, something he did, something he said, you want to have a relationship talk? Which of these faces come out? Remember that the sweet talker is who resets the cycle. So when you start to see the sweetness and all of the charm coming on board, that is how he is trying to recalibrate everything so he can go back into his default way of being. It's important to know that these are not 6 different men, because if they were, and a man is just doing one of those things, yes, it could be problematic, but it might just be more of a default pattern that maybe he's willing to work on if maybe he's doing one of them. Maybe. Depends. It really depends. But the issue is that 99% of the time of the women I've worked with, well, I'd say 100% of the time of the women I've worked with, I can't speak for anyone I have not worked with, obviously, but these have all been happening with one partner. There's 6 different faces of the same man. The same man that has never once held himself accountable and has built an entire system, either consciously or not unconsciously, to make sure he never has to take accountability. So I leave you with this thought, this idea that good men don't make you feel crazy. Good men don't make you feel confused. He knows that if you're confused, you stay because he's overwhelmed your intuition. So the best thing you can do is do your own 180. This means you are no longer repeating your part in this dynamic, which means you have to look at the parts of you that are approving of all of this. You are giving permission for all of this. You are tolerating it all. You have to remember that your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are 100% your responsibility and that you always have choice. And if you are not connected to yourself, if you are not able to tap into what feels true for you, if you're not aware of what peaceful resolution actually feels like, if you keep engaging in the confusing communications, thinking you're going to get something different, as I say, you're going to the hardware store for tampons, you end up wearing yourself down emotionally to the point where you almost lose your ability to want to fight for yourself. And this is the most dangerous place you can be. This is not what I mean by healthy detachment. That can be a phase of all of this, of the letting go of this relationship. I'm talking about women who dissociate, they disconnect, they go numb, they eat, they drink, they shop, they work, or they have affairs. They do whatever it is to just feel something because they're so shut down. All they know is how to operate in their head. And so when you're in that state, is a very dangerous place to be because eventually there will be that wall you hit or the rock bottom that you fall to. So if you recognize yourself with these 6 faces of the fake nice guy, it is time for you to completely take back your power and flip the power dynamic so you are in the power position. That is what I teach you how to do inside of my 30-day End the Cycle Bootcamp. I'll be running that again in the fall. There will be a link in the show notes for you to get on that wait list. I'll let you know when we reopen again. My biggest passion is guiding women to wake up. I want you to live awake. So whether you are not sure what you want to do with your relationship or someone you're dating or whatever phase you're in, whatever it is you're experiencing, I want you to be awake to it. Because when you go to sleep, then you cannot protect yourself. And then things can be happening below the radar, below the veil of consciousness because you've checked out and you've gone unconscious. I want you to be awake, fully awake to the truth. And that is what I teach you how to do when you go through the boot camp with me. And if you are wanting support now, you're in this situation, then reach out to me on Instagram on Awakening Women Official and DM me and let me know where you're at, what kind of scenario you're dealing with, and I will see what I can do to support you. We can maybe explore if one-on-one is correct for you. All right, I hope this has been helpful and that it has awakened something within you that you are ready to make a change, that you're no longer willing to settle for this crap. Because the truth is that there are men out there that do not do this. And women say, all men do this. Well, it's only their experience because they haven't changed their internal. So when you hear women saying all men are like this and they are swearing off all men because all men are like this, there's a lot of that male hating going on online, which makes sense. A lot of women have been hurt and they've been burned, but we have to take ownership for what we allow. We must take ownership for what we are engaging with. And when you are staying, you are saying, I give you permission to treat me this way. I feel like I don't value myself enough to require more. Instead of saying, what kind of woman do you think I am? Who do you think I am? And who do you think you are to talk to me that way? When you can really embody that, who do you think you're talking to? I think you've got the wrong woman, and you embody that no bullshit, dark feminine. Watch everything shift. And if you want help with that, get in touch with me. All right, I'll talk with you in the next episode. Bye for now.